what I wanted to do is kind of take an opportunity to welcome up on stage with me Dr. Brad Brown, who's the medical director of Hint Health. Carl's going to be joining us in a minute, and we're going to be having a conversation about Hint AI. We're actually going to do a live demo. So if you didn't turn your Wi-Fi off, please turn it off because again, my team was like, you definitely shouldn't do this. So anyway, Dr. Brad, please join me on stage. We're going to see ya.
Good to see ya.
Yeah. So
do I get a AI walk-up song?
Can he have an AI walk-up song?
No.
Is that easy?
Next time.
Next time, yeah.
In 10 minutes for the next
Yeah,
innovation.
in 10 minutes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. They're gonna work on it right now. So anyway, we're gonna sit down here and basically test this product and see what happens. So let's just get this going. Just gonna get my computer out here.
Welcome to the clinic.
Thank you. Well, let's wait. We're not in doctor-patient mode just yet, okay?
Welcome anyway.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I'm gonna give you the computer.
We're gonna use Zak's computer for the patient visit, so that's different from me.
Let me just see if we can get online here. I'm going to just run a quick speed test. How are we looking?
Good.
Not great, but let's see what happens. All right, doctor.
This is it, huh?
This is it.
I would like to have a disclaimer for all of my physician friends out there. Don't judge me based on my knee exam I'm about to do. I know, Dr. Kendrick, he's one of my friends and mentors. You helped train me. This is no reflection on you, okay? I know you're front row ready for this. Feels like an OSCE in med school, if anyone remembers those, with the one-way mirror. So anyway, cool. So, Mr. Zak, welcome to the clinic.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. If it's all right with you, would it be all right if I use some of our technology to help with the documentation and so I can focus on you a little bit?
No problem.
That's all right? Cool. So I will open it. We're in Zak's chart here. He's 32 in this chart, which I was telling him last night is, what's the phrase for that? Physicians appears older than stated age, right? Yeah, I'm just kidding. I just give him a hard time. He told me not to say that, but whatever.
He's a renegade. I can't control him.
Anyway, so here we are in the Hint all-in-one product.
And why don't we wait for the helicopter to go away? Yeah. All right.
Like it. And they're going to toot their horn here in a second, too.
Yeah, they're going to have a toot.
Yeah.
Honestly, my team is already saying, I told you so.
Yeah. We're going to optimize this as much as possible.
So,
anyway. 5 seconds, they're going to blow that horn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you already consented to this recording, right? That was the key that we had to do. So in his interaction here, I just hit AI note and start recording. So I'm gonna talk through as we do it because it kind of moves quick. I'm a very quick physician, if you will. I just talk really fast, so I've been told to talk slower.
And no laughing after this moment, please.
Yes. No helicopters. All right. So, Mr. Zak, what brings you in today?
I've got a sore knee.
Sore knee. How long has that been going on?
It's on and off for the last couple of years.
Couple of years?
Yep.
What were you doing when it started?
Kite surfing, so pretty big waves, and I just damaged my knee.
And you know that was the moment that it happened?
It happened then, and then it happened again recently when I was kite surfing.
Okay. What can you describe the pain? Is it a sharp stabbing pain, a dull achy pain?
Yeah, it's sort of a dull achy pain, and I feel like I'm lacking stability when I'm walking.
Okay, so when you're even on flat, normal surfaces, feel like it's unstable?
That's right. Okay.
Have you ever had any other injuries to that knee?
No injuries. I had surgery about 20 years.
Okay, and what was that?
It was arthroscopic surgery.
That's right.
I had them
Very
when
nice.
they do the little thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, and what have you been doing that helps, or if you've been doing something that doesn't help?
Just resting. I find going up and down stairs hurts, and I've been taking ibuprofen.
Okay, about how much a day?
About 600 milligrams.
Okay, and that helps a little bit?
A little bit.
Gets you through the day?
Yeah.
Gets you through a keynote?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's check this knee out. How about that? Awesome. Looks like your Lockman's test is positive, as well as your anterior drawer, right? So that's suggestive of an ACL injury. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, keep taking the ibuprofen. We'll get you an order for some physical therapy as well. We'll order an MRI, and I'll put a consult in to see an orthopedist to see if if it is a surgical knee. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Any questions?
No, it sounds great.
All right.
Appreciate it.
So what I'm going to do now is stop the recording and hit generate the note right here. And this is where the Wi-Fi is needed. And what is happening is it's talking to OpenAI, and it'll pop out a SOAP note, which is really fun. It's the wow factor. Patients love it because they can. I go over it with my patients to make sure it's accurate, just because I have the time and bandwidth to do it. And so it pops up right here as a SOAP note. So we'll just go over it together to make sure. Sore knee, a couple years, kite surfing on big waves. It caught that. Injured it again with kite surfing. Dull achy, instability, that is pretty spot on for the subjective. The exam, Lachman's and anterior drawer test were positive. Same with the assessment, possible ACL injury. So here's the plan, bullet it out. Ibuprofen, physical therapy, MRI, consult. Any questions? What do you think? Is that all right?
I don't know. Let's ask the audience. Yeah.
So,
I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. All of you guys.
even better, patient Zak. So I'm going to send you home. I'm going to hit this little button in your chart. I'm going to zoom in, actually. I've been told to do that because it's kind of small.
So you signed the note?
Sign the note.
Okay.
It's right here. And then this little button, the Hint AI, under your face.
So what's happening here is what we're doing is we're basically taking, so we've got a fully sort of HIPAA compliant infrastructure in place, and things like OpenAI's zero attention policy and other things, and we're basically pumping a bunch of data in. So we put all of as much data as we can, including the prior note that was just that we just went through. And the idea is that you can now kind of have an interaction with some context, but in a fully HIPAA compliant venue. So you don't need to go in and out of ChatGPT or something like that, and it's right there within the window. So back to you, Dr. Brad.
Yeah. So the patient context is what really separates this, right? I mean, I can say, hey, what's let me click on it first. It's already right here, but what's Zak's date of birth? And it'll say it. Obviously, it's right there, but it can look in the chart and give me some context. So, we'll be able to say, hey, prepare me for this visit. If I haven't seen you in a year and I have, 500 patients, say, hey, prepare me for my next visit. It'll pop out. This is the brief history, just so it's all right there. Also, meal plans are fun. That's always the example I use of, hey, Zak is diabetic. He's not. That's not a HIPAA violation. Create a 7-day meal plan for a diabetic with a shopping list.
Hey, but Dr. Brad, could you send me an email, please?
Yeah.
Just sort of summarizing for me.
This is the fun part. So I can say
what I need to remember after my consult.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you all see this? So I can say create an after-visit summary for Zak based on our last visit. And it'll basically the ACL visit. I can hit copy and paste and send it right to him. So this is the note that it pulled in. I think last night we were playing with it and it's saying, a patient-friendly version or something is a little more layman's terms.
Yep.
And then I can just hit copy and email it to you right there. So it's a lot of fun. The patient context is a whole other world that blows my mind.
Awesome. So I'd like to welcome up on stage Kyle, who is the... You good with this? Good work. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm glad it worked.
So I wanted to partially bring Kyle up because he's the AI technical lead on. Yeah, grab a seat, gents. Why don't you sit over here?
All right.
Yeah. So Kyle is the AI technical lead at Hint and has been working on building this product, but also was the co-founder and CTO of AeroDPC, which was the acquisition we announced, I think, about a year ago?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, and so I think I would like to start out just talking a bit about the AI, but then move on to some questions about your experience at Hint, because I think that'll be interesting for the crowd here. So, talk to us a little bit about the process here, kind of just any general thoughts in terms of how this works, and just give a bit of an overview of what we're doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, it was really fun to see it work even with the slow Wi-Fi. So thanks everyone for turning your phones off. That was a huge help. So when Zak came to me saying he's been playing around with ChatGPT, that's like the number one alarm bell that goes off in my head is when anybody comes to me and says, hey, I've been playing with this thing. do you know how to use it? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've been playing with it too. But we were pretty well aligned when he first came to me on just the potential that AI could possibly have with doctors. And I was talking with Dr. Brad, and he said he had just generated a vegan meal plan, was I think your first time using it in practice. And so we dove into it head first and started doing a bunch of research and playing around with a bunch of different models. And I mean, ended up with a pretty cool product, I think.
Yeah. So we've got a few docs that are in beta, Dr. Brad being one of them. What's the process been like for sort of figuring out? I think we had a pretty good, strong hypothesis on the initial use case, right? It's a fairly obvious initial use case. In fact, the first beta of this product was me walking around at the DPC Summit and just kind of talking with Dr. Brad and Dr. Cameron and literally doing live consults like we just did then. I think I did that about 6 or 7 times with different doctors. Put your hands up if I did this with you. Yeah, okay, so there's a few here, right? And just on your phone and the results are just shockingly good, right? With a bunch of people around you, talking around you, and the results were just shockingly good. And every single time we did this, it was like, when can I have this, right? It was a fairly obvious one. So this initial use case was fairly obvious. But what's the kind of thinking in terms of, talk to us how you've been working closely with our beta users and what that kind of process is like for figuring out where do we want to take this product, and maybe share some of the thoughts as to where we're going to take this over time, because we really just saw I think the tip of the iceberg of what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So typical software process, right, is get something out as fast as possible, help the users learn about it, and help them kind of give you feedback, right? So sometimes people don't know what they want. And so Dr. Brad over here, which is fun to call because he's my brother, he started using the product and had some feedback for us about how to change some things, and that's kind of how we go about it, is kind of iterating over and over based on your feedback, doctors and users of Hint. And so as we've been kind of going through that, some of the things that have come up are things like patient prep for visits, right? Like Dr. Brad mentioned earlier, or even being able to parse PDFs. I don't know if you've gotten one of those 300-page faxes before, but they're not fun to go through. I've had the pleasure of having fax systems fail on me several times because people are sending like 9,000-page faxes, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Yeah. But if you didn't have to go through every single page of that as a doctor, and you could say, hey, here's a PDF, can I have a summary of what's going on? Or tell me why this PDF was sent to me in the first place, because it came from a weird source. It would be pretty cool and pretty powerful to be able to parse even the files that are in the patient chart. That's kind of what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so hey, we actually, I'm just realizing we're running a bit over time here. So just one final question. What was the inspiration for joining Hint, and kind of maybe share some of the what your experience has been like since we combined forces? Why don't you jump with that one, Dr.
Sure, why
Brad?
not? So, Zach cold called me on a little over a year ago after the DPC Summit and said, hey, let's find a way to collaborate. I said, hey, I'd love to collaborate. And then it sort of morphed into, hey, we should do something a little more than collaboration. I don't know whose idea it was, probably yours. You're good at inception a little bit. But no, it was a mission aligned, two companies that were mission and vision aligned. It was a no-brainer for us on our side. And now I can say we've talked about it a lot as well, but everything moved fast and smooth because there were no speed bumps at all. So it was a lot of fun. It has been ever since, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, hey, so give it up for the team here. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Zach.